everyone, welcome back to Eternal Midnight. I am Santino here with Chad. What's going on, man?
What's up, man?
All right, and now we are at the final two Transformers movies, the last two, and it's the best one, and it's one of the worst. So, before we get to the God among men, let's talk about one of the worst Transformers movies out there. Like second to, I think, Dark of the Moon, The Last Night. So, Chad, what did you think of The Last Night?
All right, so basically, like I said, I think in our previous episode, after watching Dark of the Moon, I was like, fuck this trash. I'm done with this series if it continues like this. And then when the trailer for Age of Extinction came out, I'm like, oh, no more Shia. Oh, Dinobots. Oh, it's Mark Wahlberg. Oh, cool. And it was like I enjoyed Age of Extinction. Was long as hell in theaters, but I enjoyed it enough, like we said last week. But I knew it wasn't gonna last because I still saw so many of the Bay problems in the movie. They just got rid of a really shitty lead and got a better one. So then when I saw the trailer for Dark Knight, which by the way, the trailer for this movie, or The Last Night. When I saw the trailer for this, by the way, the trailer is like the best part of the movie itself. The music in the trailer is amazing. And they like really sell it like it's this like dystopian world and it's like Transformers against humans and all this weird shit. And then I was like, a buddy of mine, I'm like, dude, let's go see it. He's like, no, fuck that, dude. He's like, it's gonna be shit. I'm like, I know, but we know it's going to be shit. That's why it's going to be fun. We go see it, and he's like, what do you think? Was it worth it? I'm like, I don't think so. I'm like, that was a waste of time. Last Night is really, really fucking dumb. And I don't understand, though, why so many people are always like I've seen so many Bayformers fans be like, this is the absolute worst one. It's fucking terrible. I'm like, 3 is way worse than this. No screaming Shia LaBeouf, no bullshit with Sentinel, and none of that shit. The King Arthur crap is dumb, but it's like, you know what? I will at least take a competent lead like Mark Wahlberg over Shia LaBeouf any day in a movie like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. That's what I figured out after my rewatch of these movies, because like while Dark of the Moon before I remember was entertaining, I find Last Night at least more entertaining throughout, because as we said in the last review, the only entertaining thing about Dark of the Moon is the fact that the last battle is somewhat enjoyable. At least Last Night I can laugh at like some of the really inept concepts they had, and even the jokes. Even like there are jokes in this movie that I actually find funny. Like you mentioned this off air, the one where he's playing the organ, that C-3PO bot in that British accent.
That was awesome. And then he's like doing opera a few minutes later.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
That was actual humor. Like that was actually funny.
Yes,
and it's the only one, Santino, where they don't shove the camera in the female lead's ass.
That is true. That is very much true. But there doesn't mean that there's like gratuitous like caveman humor, because there still is, and I still don't like it. Like when Mark Wahlberg and that girl were looking for like something, and the lady's like, "Oh, are they having sex? They're having sex."
That like just take that out. Like that was again in a movie where it's like I felt like they were trying to get away from it. That just stuck out. Like, oh my God, babe, do you like? It's like you just always like walk around the set with a boner or something, and you always have sex on your mind.
Ironically, it's like that Ralph Boner joke in WandaVision. Like it's all serious, it's all good for like a huge chunk of the series, and then this Quicksilver's imposter is actually Ralph Boner. Who knew? Like, dude, come on, man.
For a really bad boner joke.
For a really good concept, for a show with a really good concept about grief and loss. That exactly what we said. That Ralph Boner joke just stuck out like a sore thumb. It really did. But like okay, so like we're not here to talk about WandaVision. Let's get back to Transformers. So yeah, that's the first joke I didn't like. The second joke I didn't like, if I'm being honest, is that racist French robot. I was like, I stopped the time. Like, dude, come on.
I
Uh,
can't believe they did that to
I,
Hot Rod. Like, my
yeah,
God, Hot Rod is supposed to be a big name amongst like the Transformers characters, and he was literally as much a cameo as Shockwave was in Dark of the Moon. Just
yeah,
pointless. Why was he there?
and honestly, his design looked cool too. His
It
design.
was a badass car. He looked cool. They just ruined it with like a stereotype.
Yeah, I hate that because Hot Rod was never French, but like I'm looking for stuff like this in a fucking Michael
Oh,
Bay
and
night movie.
this was a description of Hot Rod's character. He is brother in arms with Bumblebee. He waited 5 movies to meet up with him for 5 seconds, whatever, and speaks in a thick French accent, which he's ashamed of and wishes to remove. What a horrible, horrible description of a character.
That that is just bad. That is bad.
And I think, to me, the scene in this movie that makes this like one of the dumbest things is one, all the stuff with King Arthur. That was really,
I
really
hated that.
stupid.
I hated that.
And then that scene where they were like, oh, the Transformer, like they showed Bumblebee fighting the Nazis. I was like, oh, fuck off. And
Yeah,
that scene where they showed them all through the ages and shit. I'm like, why do they keep doing this? Like, it completely retcons the whole. If Bumblebee had been around that long, why was he still a piece of shit at the beginning of the first movie?
exactly.
Wouldn't he have just kept updating his model vehicle
Yeah,
every couple years or something? I always thought it came across as like he showed up. I always kind of thought Bumblebee, which we'll talk about next, was kind of like half prequel, half reboot. Like that's kind of how it was. Like he showed up back in the day and was like scouting Earth to look for the Allspark or something. And I don't know, but then now he fought against the Nazis in World War II. Fuck
that
off.
that didn't make sense. Also, by the way, no, Bumblebee, like in my opinion, is in fact a reboot because Optimus Prime came to Earth at the very end, which he didn't do in the
Yeah,
first.
yeah. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like when watching Bumblebee, that was always kind of like the vibe I thought was his origin on Earth before the 2007 movie. But no, yeah, Bumblebee is a full-on reboot. It's not a prequel in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, and the thing is, the concepts that Michael Bay used. That's the problem I have. Like the plot in this movie is fucking atrocious. It is
It's
really bad.
dumb.
It is really bad. Like, okay, for one, Earth is Unicron. No.
I don't care if that's in the comics or the TV shows or any of that. It doesn't make any. And like they even say at one point, they're like, "Oh, Earth is Unicron," are like lifelong nemesis. I'm like, he's been dormant for 65 million years plus. How much of a nemesis is he really to you?
Yeah, because like if he is such a big nemesis, and like if he hates the humans, all he can do is like transform and
Yeah,
and
transform and we're dead. He
we're gonna
didn't,
die again.
so I don't get it. It was such a stupid concept. Like, I'm glad this was where it ended because it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, sometimes you wish the story would continue, even if it was bad, just to see how it ends.
Yeah.
This is one I
Nah,
just don't care.
yeah, I really couldn't care less after this. Like, and even like
Tony.
even the whole thing with Quintessa and Nemesis Prime, that was such bullshit.
Yeah,
I
I don't.
hated it.
What? How is Cybertron even still there? Half of
Yeah.
it got sucked up into a black hole.
Uh,
Quintessa have like noticed something was okay, and if it was that easy for fucking Cybertron to get to Earth, why did they even have to bother with the stupid pillars in Dark of the
and
Moon?
now Dark of the Moon is irrelevant now because they can just improve Cybertron. See, yeah, see, it's just like this is like
This
when Michael Bay disregards his like own movies. But it is like, what do you expect from the guy who was like, oh, we're gonna dismantle the Decepticon, and then like, there's 5 signatures. Oh wait, now there's 6. No, there's 5.
the same movie series where just the movie before Megatron was now Galvatron, and he could turn into the transformium particles, and he never does it again. And he looks completely different for no reason.
That was so dumb.
It made no fucking sense. And how many people does Megatron serve? First, it was
The Fallen.
First, Megatron was the big boss of the Decepticons.
Oh, yeah.
Then in part 2, the Fallen was his boss. Then in part 3, he's like in cahoots with Sentinel Prime. Then in part 4, he wanted the seed from Lockdown. Then in this one, he works for Quintessa. Like, what happened to the big boss of the Decepticons?
Yeah.
And he didn't even die. He just got blasted out of a window in the atmosphere. Why didn't he just turn into his jet form and fly?
And one of the weirdest things is like when Optimus Prime says, I have a secret weapon. My best friend Bumblebee. Then Bumblebee comes and shoots Quintessa. Like, okay, that takes her out. Wow, dude. I mean, like,
that was easy.
That was easy. Like, so much for the big bad goddess.
And they didn't even explain it. And what? They were gonna wait until part 6 to explain why Quintessa built the Transformers. Like, good. And people say JJ has a problem with the mystery box. Bay's just as bad.
Bay's worse in my opinion. At least JJ somewhat delivers.
Well, he tried with Rise of Sky. No, he didn't try with that movie.
No, not right. No, not Rise of
He
Sky.
tried with Force Awakens. It's not his fault.
He gave up. Like,
he just wanted the paycheck before he went to Warner Brothers to. Never mind. I don't want to talk about what he's doing there.
Yeah, like JJ didn't try with Rise of Skywalker. But again, we're not talking about Star Wars. We're talking about Transformers. But okay, Michael Bay, he's worse in my opinion because at least JJ tries. But Michael Bay just doesn't give a shit, man. Like, if it messes up with his own story, who gives a damn?
He doesn't care. Yeah, he just keeps like going back on himself, and it's like the most messed up thing is this one probably had the most, as weird as this is going to sound, this one probably had the most competent cast of humans.
Yes, actually.
Mark Wahlberg, Josh Duhamel was back. Anthony Hopkins, for fuck's sakes. Who played the main chick that was Star-Lord's mom from Guardians of the Galaxy?
She was actually a really great actress.
She was enjoyable. Yeah, I liked her character.
The only one I didn't like was that girl, the fucking, what's her name?
I was just about to bring that up, and I was going to say, you know what? They could have shaved off easily 15, 20 minutes of this film by just cutting out that character. Because she didn't do there was nothing that character did that was needed in this movie.
Exactly. And my favorite joke, and I think this is an actual funny peak comedy scene that I laugh, is when John Turturro comes back as a cameo for Simeons, and he does this over the phone thing with Anthony Hopkins, and it's like, grant me entrance into the Wiccans, and Anthony Hopkins looks like he's so done. It's like, fine, Brother Simmons, I grant you entrance. He's like, admittance, not entrance. Like, that is funny. See, this just proves that there are jokes in this movie that can really stick and land when they want it.
Yeah.
Like, why do we need toilet humor in, like, from the first one? Like, oh, Bumblebee's peeing on me. Like, no, like, do stuff like this. It's funny as hell, and it works.
Or like everything with the three C-3PO ripoff, I thought was hilarious. Characters like that always crack me up. Like, that's why I really liked Alan Tudyk in Age of Extinction. Like, he would like that scene in Age of Extinction. I don't think we brought it up when they all start. No, that was Dark of the Moon when they all started pulling guns on each other. And he's like,
oh, yeah.
Chill out. And he's like, sorry, back to my old ways. I'm not like that anymore. It's like, yes, I love characters like that. And the C-3PO robot in this movie was hilarious. He was probably one of the best. I don't care. This was probably my favorite human cast of the movies. I mean,
I have to agree because even in Age of Extinction, what really bogged it down was, even though the girl in this movie was annoying, the daughter and her boyfriend were way worse. It could have been just Kate and
Yeah.
Stanley Tucci and a hot Chinese girl, and we would have been okay. But no, they had to add look at my hot Romeo and Juliet underage teenage daughter. Like, no, I mean, like here,
Gross.
although there was a nice moment I liked last night where Cade was on the phone with his daughter and he can't speak because
Mhm.
the government is tracking him or whatever. I like it a lot. I like it so much. That was a
Yes,
human
that was cool.
that was a human.
See, that's how you do it. Like that's it. That's the opposite shit they did with Dark of the Moon with Sam and Michaela. Like they figured out, okay, like I think what's her face, Nicola Peltz, who played his daughter Tessa. I think maybe she was busy with another. I think maybe this is when she was busy with Bates Motel. I could be wrong,
Yeah.
but it's like she wasn't in it, and instead of just writing her out, they used her not being there to give our main lead a very like touching personal growth moment, and it worked. It was the exact opposite of how they handled it that shit in Dark of the Moon. So I'm sorry, major props to this film in certain spots. But it's like we've said, it's the fucking story that murders this movie.
Yeah, it really murders the movie. It's not. It's not. It's not good. The story. No matter how much we say it, it's not good.
No, it's not. We're literally like, I don't want to say we're scraping the bottom of the barrel looking for good stuff because I think there
No, we're
is.
just trying to find good stuff in a bad movie because the
Well,
movie's bad.
well, yeah, but I think that's what we've done. I mean, we've done it before, like with the what is it, Leprechaun Origins. We were scraping the bottom of the barrel for good stuff with that.
Oh yeah, we were.
For this, I legitimately think we are pointing out things that are good and enjoyable about it. But that's not enough to make this movie good in the slightest. This is, and trust me, for everyone listening, we're not saying this is a good movie. This is still a bad film.
It's not a good movie, guys. Don't mistake
Get
it.
us wrong.
All right.
We're not saying it's good. It's not.
It's a bad
just
film.
not as. It's just not as bad as everyone always like. Everyone always seems to be like, 1 is good, 2 is bad, 3 is better than 2. It's not. 4 is fine, I guess. I don't know how most people rank. That one seems to jump. And then everyone almost always says 5 is just an absolute dumpster fire. I'm like, how is this any worse? How is this any worse than like 2, 3, and 4? They're all on the same level to me. It just comes down to, I guess, personal enjoyment. Like, if you enjoy hearing Shia LaBeouf scream his fucking head off, then I guess you'll love 2 and 3. If you enjoy an actual good main lead, you'll enjoy 4 and 5 better, I guess.
As
I don't
much
know.
as I love 1 and 2, I have to agree. Wahlberg was far better as a lead than Shia ever was. In the 2 movies he was in, Wahlberg was fucking amazing. For what make, because Wahlberg's a good actor, in my opinion. He can like I want to review this one day, and you mentioned it because like if you want to do like real life tragedies and disaster movies, we can do it. Like if you watch Patriots Day and Lone Survivor, 2 movies with Mark Wahlberg in it, man, he is good in those movies. He is really good. So like, it's just the script. It's just the script that's ass. So now, like, now with this ass script, we're gonna go to a better movie, a way better movie, The God Among Men, Bumblebee. I love Bumblebee, and I'm so happy I saw it in theaters. It's like, I'm not sure if I should do this, and then like, oh my god, thank God it's good. Because when I watched it, I was like, I lost faith in the Transformers like movie. Like, I'm gonna probably watch it. Like, I'm gonna probably watch this out of like just fun, just to reminisce on like when I used to like this franchise. But holy shit, no, it's not that at all. Oh my god, when I watched this, I was like, the opening with Soundwave and Starscream and Shockwave with an actual voice.
Optimus?
Decepticons, attack!
Autobots, fall back! Get to the tower!
Destroy the launch pad! Let none escape!
It's good.
The,
Holy shit.
the G1 designs. I don't care that some people say they're cheesy. That's what we wanted. Fuck you. And that's not what makes this movie good. What makes this movie good is it was made by a man who clearly had passion. He knew what a good script was because Bumblebee is awesome.
Yeah. Bumblebee.
I mean, all the way from the opening battle on Cybertron to Charlie and Bumblebee getting to know each other and learn more about, Bumblebee learning what it's like to be on Earth, all the way to Bumblebee and Optimus meeting back up again and more Autobots coming to Earth and saving the day. This is a damn good, this isn't even a good Transformers movie. This is just a all-around good movie in general.
It's a good movie. And I don't care what anyone says. I almost had the freaking tear jerk when Soundwave said, "Ravage, eject." I was like, oh my God. Yes. This is what we want, people. This is what we want. That was
exactly
awesome.
We don't want Bumblebee peeing on people or masturbation jokes and people's moms getting high and running around college campuses. We want character development. We want an actual good story.
And
does this movie have the amount of action that Bay had in his films?
No.
But okay, look, like we've said about Dark of the Moon. Hey, wow, it's got buildings breaking. Fucking shit story and shit script, and saying a film is good because of the booms is just weird.
Yeah, exactly.
A good story needs to be there, and I have heard people be like, "It's just copying," what is it, The Iron Giant? I'm like, so
well,
what? That was a good movie too. What's your point? I'd rather it copy a good movie and do its own thing while telling a very basic story than do something new and be absolute garbage like last night.
After what we had for 5 movies, we needed something new. We needed something familiar. And doing Iron Giant story with a great character, which, by the way, Haley Steinfeld as Charlie Watson is not just a great Transformers character, great character period. She blows out Wahlberg. She absolutely annihilates Shia LaBeouf. This is a girl who's like, oh, I'm not gonna wear booty shorts. I'm gonna be hot and smart in my own way. You know what I mean? Like, she didn't need to have a fucking bikini scene. She was just like,
and you know what? They also didn't ram it into our faces. Hey, look, a female lead who's competent. We didn't, like some movies where it's like men are idiots and women are the gods of the planet. This was a movie that was just, our main lead's a girl. She finds a Transformer. She's competent. She's got a brain, a good head on her shoulders, and she fucking kicks ass in something that would probably scare most people out. Like most people would probably run from this shit. She doesn't. She stays fucking strong and is there to help Bumblebee. Charlie's the best lead of all 6 of these movies.
Yeah, and what my favorite moment from her is when she does her dive, like when Bumblebee's drowning and she has always had a fear because it was her dad and she didn't want to do it anymore. And then she does it and she helps Bumblebee. Like, that's awesome, man. That's great character development. And also good humor. John Cena delivers great humor in this movie without having the
John Cena is awesome. Honestly, this is going to sound weird. I love John Cena. One, I'm excited as hell to see him in the Suicide Squad. I thought he looked hilarious in the trailer. But if anybody wants to see a truly, I think, an underrated comedy with him in it that's hilarious, watch Blockers. I thought he was a riot in that film.
I haven't even seen it yet. I want to, though. I really want to.
Oh, you should. What's his face? Vince suggested it to me, and I thought he was lying. But then I watched it, and I told him, I'm like, Vince, you were right. This movie is awesome.
It's still on my Netflix. Oh, no, it was on my Netflix last year, and I never got a chance to watch it. Oh, man.
Oh, damn.
I'll have to find some. Wait, is it here? Ah, no, it's not. God damn it. so so yeah,
Yeah, you'll enjoy it. You'll enjoy it.
well, I probably will. I mean, like you recommend me a lot of great stuff, so I probably will enjoy it. But that's the whole point. Like John Cena delivers great comedy, and in fact, you know what I like about this? The action scenes, while few and far between, are awesome. Like the fight between Blitzwing and Bumblebee, I can actually see what's going on. It's not like two junkyards rolling around. It's like no, I can actually see what's happening. And for once, the Decepticons are not like they're actually like they actually have a language. They're actually speaking. They're not because usually in the Transformers Michael Bay stuff, it was always like the Decepticons.
It sounded like the old days of a computer trying to log onto the internet.
The Decepticons had two forms of language. The either A, where if they spoke English, it's gonna be like, "I'm going to destroy you. Your plan will burn. I will annihilate everything." That was it. That was a 3 sentence they would say. Or like, dude, I mean, that's not even a character. You're just a monster.
Right. You're just a gray blob that makes noises. But no, yeah, exactly. Shatter and Dropkick were like, I enjoyed them as villains. And that scene where they were killing Cliff Jumper on one of Saturn's moons, that was so creative.
Yeah, I was
like, just like that, like seeing it happen. I mean, it's weird that they were that close to Earth, but it's like, it still looked cool. And then like that, Bumblebee's distress beacon comes back on and boom, they head right to Earth. That scene was hilarious when they murdered the redneck right in front of his wife.
Oh, that was so hilarious. I loved it. like I'm not sure if it was Shatter or Dropkick, but it was like one of them had an acid gun. Like when they would point it at them, like the guy would turn to like goo. Like that is scary.
Yeah, that was Dropkick's weapon.
All right, yeah. Shatter's the girl, right? If I'm speaking.
Yep. Yeah, voiced by Angela Bassett.
No way.
Yeah.
Damn.
She's awesome. That's so cool. She got to be a main villain.
Shatter and Dropkick are probably the most intimidating Decepticons since the first one. Like Megatron from the first one still is like takes the cake. Why?
I don't know. I might challenge you on that one with what's his face? From Age of Extinction.
Oh right, yeah, Lockdown. Holy shit, I forgot. Lockdown, of course. Yeah, Lockdown is.
Yeah, I'd say Lockdown. I'd say if I had to vote, I'd probably say Megatron in the first one, then I'd go Lockdown, then Megatron, then these two.
Really?
Well, nobody was a good leader in part 2 or 3. There was no real. I mean, Quintessa sucked. I don't know. It's almost hard because they're all enjoyable villains for different. I don't know. I just pulled that ranking out of my ass. I know that was not a definitive ranking.
Yeah. So.
But what I liked about it also is it's just like this is the type of movie where, like we said, it's not just a good Transformers movie. It's a good movie. The first Transformers movie, that almost feels like something I could my parents would never be interested in something like that. Right. But I guarantee I could be like, hey, I know they would enjoy Bumblebee. I know they would.
Yeah, exactly. I probably my friends don't like Transformers. They probably would think Bumblebee is a great movie, or at least a good movie. Because man, I enjoy the Bayformers movies for what they are, but Bumblebee actually amazing story, great characters, the comedy's on point, and even the side characters. Remember in Revenge of the Fallen had annoying side characters like that Leo guy or
racist Autobots.
Yeah, exactly. But now Charlie Watson has friends who help her out and help her on her mission. Like the black dude, I forgot his name. I'm really sorry. I can't remember.
It was Memo, wasn't it?
Memo?
Or that's his nickname, Guillermo Memo Gutierrez.
Oh, okay. I exactly. I can't remember because I really can't remember this character's name, but I liked him. And also honestly, like one of the best moments that I find underrated is when Shadow and Dropkick open the hologram and they see Optimus Prime like, I'm like, stay strong, soldier, I'm coming. And you could hear the fear in Dropkick's voice, like, Prime's coming here. Like, that's just like, we better fucking run, dude.
Yeah, because that's what I like. I agree. They were like, okay, we need to get this information to the Decepticons now, because if he gets here before we do that, he's going to kill us.
Oh, I love that.
And they'll be here and they'll get away with it. So it's like, I also like that. Like, I like that final battle. That it was small, it was secluded, but it was a race. But it was a race against time. That's what I liked about it. It's like the stakes were so high on that one. Like that, like, oh yeah, all the other ones, oh, the world's about to end. By the time we get to the third movie where the world is about to end, it's like, okay, it doesn't mean anything anymore because you keep doing it. Sometimes you have to change up what your final battle is. It's almost like, and we're gonna bring up WandaVision one more time.
Yeah,
it's almost like you and I have seen it. What does it seem like most people preferred for the final battle? Wanda versus Agatha, or Vision versus Vision?
Vision versus Vision. That whole ship of Theseus where Vision uses his knowledge to disable the White Vision is amazing. Like, I love that, where it's like, oh, did you ever hear about the ship of Theseus? Which is an actual philosophical thing. Like, if people remove the parts, it's still the true ship. Like, damn, like
yeah, it was like we got. Yeah, well, it's like we got the standard shooting, big action set piece with Wanda and Agatha, but with these two, they were like, we got to do something a little bit different so we don't get stuck in the norm. And that's what this one was. The world itself wasn't at stake at the end of this movie. It was the protection and safety of where the Autobots' new base was going to be while they regrouped from their loss on Cybertron. So it's like, it was different. It wasn't the same fucking thing in 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It was interesting to watch. It was a smaller little battle, but it was interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So what else have you got? Or are we ready to to rank this shit?
I think we're good, because like we were able to cover all our bases. So yeah, let's rank it.
All right. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. For me, very bottom, like you, after really watching it, yeah, Dark of the Moon, the bottom. Just below that, sorry, on top of that is Last Night. Last Night was terrible, atrocious, but at least there were some good comedy parts. Above that, I'd say Age of Extinction. Age of Extinction was fun for what it was. I enjoyed Wahlberg, and I enjoyed Lockdown. He was badass. Then at the top, at the midpoint, Revenge of the Fallen. Yeah, it's stupid as fuck, and it's dumb, and the plot's all over the place. It's one of the worst written movies ever, but you know what? I still love it.
I love how we say it's one of the worst when we've got in the same franchise as Last Night.
It's still more enjoyable than Last Night.
It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad. Like, it's fucking terrible. From a writing perspective, it's like a writer's worst nightmare. Right up. Second place. That's second place. First place is probably Last Jedi, but at least it's more enjoyable. And then
I would rather watch that than Last Jedi ever again.
Oh yeah. Transformers, the very first, at second place, and at first is Bumblebee. Both are really good. Both are really good in their own way. Transformers 2007 was good for like a first showcase of the Transformers, but as time went on, we needed an actual good story, and Bumblebee provided that. And you know what? If this is the end of the franchise, at least the two bookends of the franchise are good movies, which I appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you, Chad.
All right, so bottom of the barrel, Dark of the Moon. Fuck this movie. I'm never watching it again. It's awful. It has literally, aside from John Malkovich, it has no redeeming qualities in my eyes. I don't care about the action. I don't watch a movie for the booms. I watch a movie for a story, and this is an awful story. Following that is Last Night. It's just as bad of a story, but you know what? I don't have Shia LaBeouf screaming his head off. And I got the comedy from C-3PO Wannabe. So yeah, that's what edges it out. Following that is Revenge of the Fallen. It's right at that midway point. It's I agree with you. I had a blast rewatching it. It's dumb as hell, but you know what? It's like we said when we started. It's dumb, but it's fun. It's like polar opposites. Dark of the Moon is dumb and there's no fun in it. Revenge of the Fallen is dumb, but at least it's fun. And like I said, I liked Michaela the best character out of the first two movies. And I like how she and Sam kind of finished their arc. And it's a real fucking shame what they did with Dark of the Moon after she got fired.
Yeah.
In the number 3 spot, Age of Extinction. Finally got a competent lead. The movie would probably be, I honestly, call me crazy, the movie might even be above the first if it wasn't so fucking long and convoluted and stupid in some spots.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If Age of Extinction had trimmed itself down by maybe half an hour, got itself a little more organized, got rid of the Romeo Juliet shit, this could have been a really good film, but they've ruined it with some of Bay's usual junk. The number 2 spot, the 2007 film. After rewatching it, it almost brought me back to when I saw it in theaters back in 2007, and I just remembered how cool it was seeing Transformers on the big screen after only seeing like the old 80s cartoon. So I mean, is it a perfect film? No, not by a long shot. But you know what? It's not bad. It was not. I don't. For 2007 and being the first, it was not a bad start. But with the number 1 spot, Bumblebee, almost gotta wonder. I mean, Bumblebee's number 1 because it's the best. And it almost makes me wonder, how would things have gone if Bumblebee had been the first story they'd told in 2007?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Imagine if that's how things had started. Imagine how different things would have been for
probably
this
would have
franchise.
gone like a Transformers cinematic universe at this point with like a full-on war for Cybertron on Earth, and like, oh dude, oh man, what could have been? What could have been?
So before we wrap up, I just kind of want to do something we don't normally do. Yeah. But with Transformers, what do you want to see next? Because it's been pretty quiet since Bumblebee came out.
Well, for me, honestly, like I know they don't have the budget for it, but I really want to see a prequel, like a full-on CGI war on Cybertron. Like I really
because we didn't even see Megatron in Bumblebee.
Yeah, exactly. Megatron wasn't exactly mentioned in Bumblebee. So like give me a trilogy, like give them the G1 designs, make it 2 hours long to budget the CGI well, make it a trilogy. I'd watch it, dude. Like no more.
So do you want them? So it feels like there's so many ways they could go right now, and because it's like there's the options like you just said. There's the Cybertronian War prequel movies. They could continue Bumblebee. I've heard Bayformers fans say they want a part 6. Just don't let Bay near it, I guess. Or I mean, there's so many different ways. Or there's Beast Wars. Let's do some Beast Wars maybe. I don't know. Oh, there's so many ways they could go with this. I don't understand why it's been so quiet since 2018. I mean, I understand what 2020 was, but it's like there was no immediate announcement of a next one. It just felt like Bumblebee came out and they were just like, we don't know what to do next.
Well, whatever is next, I want Travis Knight to direct again because he's fucking amazing.
I agree. Or at least if he doesn't direct, at least bring him back as a consultant. At least be like, what did you do that made people like everyone love this film? What did you do aside from hardcore Bayformers fans, which is fine. I understand why they love the Michael Bay movies like they do. That's their prerogative. No shade against them. They're just overall not for me.
Yeah, I understand that.
So who knows? The future's up in the air, but you know what? After Bumblebee, I've got high hopes. I think they can keep going with this momentum of good storytelling. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. So before we end this month, we still have one more weekend, and we decided to fill it with another Hasbro franchise. So for the final weekend, we're doing G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe Retaliation. So I'm Santino, and this is and with Chad, and we'll see you next weekend. Bye, guys.